We think we know certain things. It's very difficult to give up those things. It's difficult to give up those things. So what we have to do is we have to provide a means for that to be seen. I could tell you something that I didn't say originally in my statement about creation, the beginning, or black holes even. I talked about the compression down to the point where things begin to vibrate, and then we have this explosion. And in this explosion we have heat, we have heat or energy. Then we have energy slowing down to become subatomic particles and slowing down to become larger particles and build back up through temperature changes. But here's the thing I didn't say, and this is something that one must come to oneself. It comes down to such pressure, that the only thing that is left is consciousness. Everything is conscious. Everything is aware. You don't just exist in your brain. You exist all over your body. That's why you have memory all over your body. If you injure yourself, that scar is a memory or a record of that injury. So it's all over the body, in every cell. Consciousness is in every cell. You are every cell. You are the subatomic particles. You are the consciousness. Now, that's a statement from me to you. That is a fact. When we look at the world, we look at scientists, because they only believe in the physical. They say, I only believe in what I see, or what the research shows. Well, one of the things they don't realize is they only see what they're expecting to see, because their idea of the world. So it's very difficult to give up that idea. It's very difficult for us to give up the idea of who we are. Very difficult. That is why you have to come to a point where you don't know. When you come to a point where you don't know, then you really look to see. Then you really look to see. And you ask questions. And as you ask a question and get an answer, you go to the next level, and to the next level, and to the next level. Now, one of the first things that we need in anything is the desire to learn. I've said in the beginning, this is the most difficult process you will ever have to undertake, because it's about understanding things at its very root. It's contrary to everything you think you know. At its very root, consciousness is the cause of all things. Consciousness. The I am. Not I am what, I am this, I am that, I am the other, but the I am. Someone asked me the question, the difference between the mind and the consciousness. The consciousness is that which is staring at me right now. Not the words, but that which is seeing and looking at me and understanding what it sees. Understanding what it sees to a particular level. Now, in order to understand it at that deeper level, we must continue to ask questions. And we must continue to ask questions until we disappear. The I disappears. The what I think I am disappears. If that doesn't happen, we don't get the bottom line. But somewhere along the way, maybe I made a mistake in something I did, something I've said, which I don't think I did, but hey, one never knows, just in case. When I talked about enlightenment, enlightenment is simply an understanding of what is. That's all. a recognition of what is. Now, all along the way, see, one of the things that I have found that we continue to deal with the mind stuff. Well, I'm learning to be more open. I'm learning to be whatever. That statement tells me I'm missing the point. You see, I have to recognize honestly and truthfully what the thing is that provides me with closeness. What the thing is that provides me with behaving badly. I say badly. Badly for oneself, not badly for like something out here that's bad. No. But behaving badly for one's own condition. Suffering, we suffer because of ourselves. Okay? And I'm going to use myself as an example because it is the one that I know. Now, you've known on several occasions I've been very, very sick. But have you noticed? I haven't changed. I may not have the energy to sound like I sound now, but I say the same thing. My eyes are still open. I'm still looking at you because there is no catch that is afraid of death or being ill or anything else. And it's not, I'm not afraid, there's nothing to be afraid of. I don't know what fear is. I know what fear is. I know that fear is being in a situation and not knowing what to do. And the reaction to that. I know what that is. But it doesn't mean anything anymore because the insecurity is gone. The thing that makes that is gone. I have no problem. Yes, I'm going to die. Hopefully. You know, a couple of 100 years of this, you get kind of tired. You know, someone asked me the other day, it might have been when I was in New York, whatever that was, what would you like to eat? You know, and I've had the damnedest problem. I've been here so long, I have eaten everything over and over and over. I'm tired of it. What is it I want? I don't know. All I know is if I put it in my mouth, it gets in my stomach, I'm not hungry anymore. That's all I know. It doesn't matter. So the point is, we have to come to that point in our lives in order to want to understand more, deeper and deeper and deeper. Deeper levels of questioning. So we can't stay at the same place of the psychological questioning forever. That becomes habit. That's why I say, if you do the technique, come to a point where you feel the tension, you relax that point in your body and you let that energy move. Now see, there at this point, there has to be another question. Where does it go? What happens? You've been given an answer to that. Okay? This is the point where you prove the answer. You see, if Jesse does a technique over here, Alan does the same technique over here about this, and have the same question, they will arrive at the same answer if the answer is true. If it's shallow, they won't, if the answer is true. Now, one of the things, see, we ask these questions about, well, why am I this way or that way or the other way? Okay, you learned it. Simple as that. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. I learned it. Wow. You can recall incidences when you learned it, or when you began to behave that way. When parents kept saying to you, "What are you, stupid? What are you, stupid? What are you, stupid? Are you stupid? You're stupid." I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. I'm not stupid. But when someone else says something else to you, you need to learn so-and-so. What you hear is, "I'm stupid," which is not what that person or persons or group said. They didn't say you were stupid. They said you need to learn this. So you have to question that and say, well, wait a minute. I am calling me stupid by the thing that I have learned. I remember in my going through this process, I came to a point where I saw all that, and a Peggy Lee song, if you remember Peggy Lee, came to mind. Is that all there is? Is that all there is to that? You see, it's like, that can't be. My life cannot be just a series of misunderstandings and behaving badly. It can't be. That can't be the answer. What's going on? The next level of things became obvious. I'm assuming the world is as I think it is. Well, wait a minute. Maybe that's not true. That's just the way I am painting the world. Okay? These are questions that one asks when we come to the point where we really want to know. Some of us have problems, you and I. The problem is, I will say you've got to come to a point where you can learn. That means you got to stop certain things. You hear criticism. What you have been given is guidance. So then there's a whole thing that's set up, a struggle, a fight, where there is no fight, because I'm not going to fight. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to guide, okay? I try and reflect, not that I try and reflect, I am the world. I am the law, because I stopped not being the law. It doesn't mean I'm special. It just means I stopped not doing that, not respecting it, not respecting who I am and what I am. Reflect the world. Okay. If we can't come to that point, then we can't learn. We can't change. We can't grow. If we don't take the responsibility for what we do that prevents us from moving forward. Then we have a question, well, my goodness, what is this? Answer has already been given. Everything is a cloud of subatomic particles. Everything. I'm giving you the answer now so that when you do your exercise, you see it and you go, oh, okay. Wow. It's there in the science book. It's there in the physics book. Well, then how is it that I see Carol, I see Kevin, I see David? How is that? Because your eyes and your brain are geared to recognize those subatomic particles only in that place. Now, here's what we find. They spent hundreds of millions of dollars to do this thing up at Fermi Lab and all that, where they shoot electrons around. These things travel so fast as they approach the speed of light, they say, is it there? Yes. Is it not there? Yes. It's there and it's not there. And it only becomes there when they expect it to be there. Then they know where it is. Okay? It responds to man's consciousness. Now that's a law. So when I look at this electronic cloud right here, they stop because of my expectations and Kevin's expectations as to being a human being. Wow. So out of that, it's like looking through a mist of fog and having a part of that fog just take shape. Wow. I really do create my reality. Son of a gun. See, now that question has moved to the next level. Wow. How is it holds its shape? Well, it doesn't really, because there's a total turnover of these electrons. And what the mental thing about them is like a framework. You know, have you ever molded clay, made sculptures? Or seen them made? How they take a piece of wire and then they form the clay around it? The mold that is man is consciousness, like the little wire frames. That is the consciousness, that is the expectation. So flesh is built around that in that way. Not just the flesh that you are, but the world. All the constructs are like that. So that you can experience physical reality. Now, in physics, we know that you never touch anything. We used to believe the sun revolved around the earth. All the planets revolved around the earth. We found out that wasn't true. We believed the earth was flat. We found out that's not true. We believed that mass was solid. We found out that's not true. Okay? Wow. See, it's in the book. It's in the physics book. Then what happens when I do this? It feels real. Yes, it's real. It has a reality. Listen to the way I pronounce the word now. A reality. I'm giving you a way to think about this word in a different way. A reality. Not a reality, but a reality. Okay? What happens? The electrical magnetic energy here that is in this cloud touches the electromagnetic energy that is in this cloud. The vibrational frequency of this and the vibrational frequency of that touch each other. And you go, oh, I feel this. But that's not true. You don't do that. It's not true. It's not true. There's too much space in there. All right? So now when we start seeing this, we'll come out of a meditation and all of a sudden we'll look and something looks like a cloud or it has color to it. You go, what the hell was that? Well, what you're really seeing is that cloud at that level. Some people will call it an aura. Well, I started to tell you a really foul joke, but I won't. Doesn't matter what you call it. It is what it is. Let's put it like that. It is what it is. Doesn't matter what you call it. The words don't matter. That's why when people will say sometime to me, oh, do you know about auras? Kinda. See, when you ask me about auras, I know that you don't understand. That's just a word. That's just a word that somebody has used to define this thing. You see, I'm more about the absolute essence. I'm about the thing that solves all the problems. not some of the problems, the bottom line. So, or, okay, if that's what you want to call it, okay. Some people say beef bourguignon. I say, can I have some cornbread with that beef stew? See, it doesn't matter what you call it, it's beef stew. You see? Beef bourguignon. Oh, highfalutin. That's a word. Tastes like what Mama used to make. She never made beef bourguignon. She made beef stew. Neither of those words mean anything. It is the experience of the thing that is meaningful. So, what we come to understand from this cloud, this aura, is that things do not have specific shapes. Those shapes are given by our biomechanical tools. Wow. Then what is the thing that causes that shape to appear? Now see, these are lines of questioning when we are really trying to understand who we are. If we stay at that level of, why do I reacting to people this way and reacting to people that way and reacting to this situation, reacting to that situation, that's all we do. That is all we do. That does not answer the questions. It does not answer the question. So we keep running around in this circle. You ever see a dog chase his tail? Around in a circle until he gets nuts. You can't stop him from chasing his tail. I'll get it, I'll get it, I'll get it. No, you won't, especially if you got a bobtail. It doesn't work. You have to get off of, no matter what circle you're on, what wheel you're on, you have to get off that wheel. And getting off that wheel means being objective. Meaning, I have no opinion about it one way or the other. What is it? An honest question. This is the way we learn and grow. It's not Ananda's rule. It is the rule of the universe. It's not whatever Ananda is rule. Well, I guess it is. You know, I am that which is, as you are that which is. So it is our rule. It's the rule of learning and grow. That is the rule. If we can't follow that simple rule, take responsibility for our behavior. See, you didn't get where you are in the relationship between you and I, the relationship between you and the next person, the relationship between you and the society, the relationship between you and the universe. You didn't get that way just out of happenstance. You got that way because you did something. Nobody is happy unless they did something to be happy. Nobody is ignorant unless they did something that makes them ignorant. Ignorant. To ignore what is right in front of you. We say ignorant. And as black people, when it's really bad, we say ignorant. He's just ignorant. That means worse than ignorant. We know the word is ignorant, but that's just ignorant. Okay? So we have the degrees of not knowing. We have really bad ignorant, then we have ignorant, then we have ignorant. Okay. We are ignorant. Well, what did I do? It's up to you, the individual. All of the things around you will tell you what you're doing, what your assumption is. What are you assuming that prevents you from seeing the truth? That prevents you from seeing the truth. I have an experience. I can do this. I can do that. I can do this. I can do this. First thought, injured tendon. Because there's no pain. No pain. Damage to tendon, not muscle, tendon. Oh, okay. Worse and worse and worse. Like, I went from 30 pounds like this to 2.5 like this. It's like, maybe I better go and have this checked out. The assumption was a tendon. Not a solid assumption. Okay? That's what the information first indicated. Go to the doctor. X-ray, X-ray, X-ray. Pinched nerve in your neck. Because the mind was open. Maybe it's a tendon. The mind is open. Let's go find out. Let's go find a way to look in there. They got X-ray machines. They got, not catheter, what do you call it? CAT scans. They got all that over here. Okay. Let's go see. Aha. Well, it seems that, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago, I broke my neck. It healed. Now, this is the result of that. So, whatever the incident is, see, this just didn't fall out of the sky and fall on me. I fell and broke my neck. Because of something I did, this happened. I'm not saying, oh, I'm responsible. I'm saying, oh, okay. Yeah, I'm responsible for that. Okay, I have to take the responsibility for that because I did it. I fell. Okay. I'm not making a story out of this that there's no answer to. There's an answer. I fell and broke my neck. Now, the little pieces are coming together and they are shutting off the nerve. The nerve has now lost the memory. Okay. Now, I've got to go over there and do all these exercises to reteach the nerve how to behave like a nerve, like an arm nerve. Hard. Oh, man, it's so hard. So what? Now, what I'm saying to you is about attitude. I'm not saying anything really about this. I'm talking about the attitude of learning and growing. It's hard. So what? I accept the responsibility of it being hard, and I do what I've been asked to do. I do what I've been asked to do. Get in there and go to work. Get in there and go to work, because it's difficult putting my clothes on. It's difficult putting my shirt on, my coat. You know, and it's like I'm going to look like Popeye over here and olive oil over here. In order to achieve the balance, I have to do what I'm supposed to do. Now, in using that example, what I hope you see is the pattern that is unseen. You see, the actions are just actions. The pattern is the same pattern that it takes to go through change within, as it takes to fix the broken part within. But you have to understand there is a broken part. I'm the x-ray machine. I'm saying, you're saying this is the problem. I'm saying, no, I'm the x-ray machine. This is the problem. Fix that. You fix that, you come to this conclusion. You come here. It's only to help expedite the process of the individual. That's all. To help expedite. You know, this process could take 100 million years, if not expedited. 100 million years. Well, like I said, even in this lifetime, I'm tired of eating the same thing. There's got to be something else growing somewhere that I could eat. Just in this amount of time. So now you're talking about 100 million years. Good Lord. Of the same crap. Feeling sorry for myself. Not taking the responsibility for myself. Not paying attention to why I am in the circumstances that I'm in. Not blaming anybody else. Because these are the laws. Accepting responsibility of myself for my action. The law is telling you, this is why. This is why. The laws tell you, this is why. I tell you, this is why. You must tell yourself and see for yourself and be willing to make that change in order to dissipate the pain, to dissipate and move forward with intelligence. You have to ask those questions at various levels. Now, what is the level? Well, I think there is a mold through which this looks like it looks. Okay, the mold. Now, what is that that causes the mold? Now we're talking about the awakening, the enlightenment, the recognition. Oh, okay, I see. And at that moment, there's only peace, there's only love, there's only intelligence. Now, I'm going to use that word again, God. I use that word because it's the only word that I think can closely approximate the scope to which we can see or try to see. There's a word that says is way outside of anything you can think of. That thing is responsible only to itself and for itself. Therefore, it is a law. Every individual must be responsible to themselves and responsible for themselves. That thing that we create, the situation that we create, I have often thought in years past about what I do. And I look at the way I'm responded to quite often by those who have said they wanted to be taught and to know by me. And I look and I think, this is madness. This is madness. I have people, when I've been ill, who treated me really very badly. When I say very badly, oh, oh, oh. And I'm saying, get the hell away from me. Do you know who I am? I am not helpless. No, no, no. You don't look down on me like that. I will take the responsibility to do what I have to do. I take that responsibility. I've had people who tried, when I was in that physically weakened state, who tried to take control. It's like, are you out of your, as Jeff, the guy in the group in New York, would say, are you out of your rabbit mind? Are you out of your mind? Do you know who you're talking to? Not saying, do you know who you're talking to, but do you know who you're talking to? I am not that. I am not the weakling that you see. I am what I have always been and what I will always be. Responsible to myself. I need no bullshit. You want me? No. Stop it. Recognize that I have a problem. Okay, cool. You got to recognize that. But treat me as what I am. Treat me for what I am. Those who don't do not feel responsible in themselves for themselves. Therefore, they cannot recognize someone who is responsible for themselves. So the message then is not me, the message is that person. This is the way you are seeing me. Tells you something about you, not about me. Not about me. I got in this situation by pushing a truck by myself, up a hill, out of a hole, by myself. At what point does that say helpless? A truck when everything was dead, no power steering. It's like, okay, I'm sitting in this precarious place. Somebody comes out of that curve, it's a little curve, from under that viaduct. This thing is sitting out in the street with no lights. Somebody could die. I'm in the truck. The truck is my responsibility. What do? Oh, well, get out, put the shoulder under that thing, put the arm under there, grab the wheel, and start rocking till I can get it out of this hole, and then push it over to the curb. To show you, right after that, I got it out. 2 people stopped. Can we push? And they were women, little bitty women. Ah, that's all right, I got it. After I took responsibility. You follow what I'm saying here? First thing, you must take responsibility. When you behave in such a way that puts you in a situation, you must take responsibility for the action that put you there. Not blame anyone or anything else. Go to that place inside. Feel that knot, because it's about that knot. It's not about what they did. It's not about what happened 30, 40, 50 years ago, 60, 70 years ago. It's about what's happening right now. There's a thing in reincarnational beliefs. You brought something from a previous life that you've got to go through here. Well, you need to understand from the previous life. No, you don't. Everything you need to understand is right here, right now. That would be awful unfair. For something that happened 600 years ago, you got to go sift through 600 years of information to find out why you screwed up. You're screwed up because of the misuse of the energy right here, right now, that forms that knot. How do you deal with that? It's not about the thing that you put all the names on. It's about the energy configuration. So what do? You do your technique, you relax, and you let the energy move. And if you do it with the right attitude, ultimately, the answer starts to come. You start to feel differently. You start to feel better. That's all you need to know. Anything else is just chatter. Anything else is just this out of control, mad thing that you can never make sense of. Take responsibility. It's like meditating, and it's like what just happened. Meditating, what do you do when there's noise? Oh, I just can't meditate. They're making too much noise. They're doing this and that and the other. Shut up. Accept it. If you stop doing what it takes to distract you, it will happen. The meditation will happen. You have to incorporate. Steve, we still want to exclude. How are you going to exclude life? You can't. You have to accept it for what it is. Therefore, the answer comes, this is not a place for people to be flawless. It's obvious. It's a place where we're pretty nuts. We are psychological children. We have some infants, we got some terrible twos, and that's where most of us stop, at the terrible twos. Because we get bigger and we figure, hey, we got some preteens, we got some teenagers, which is not much removed from the terrible twos. We got some young adults who think they know everything and know nothing. They can't find their ass with both hands on a bloodhound. We got the next stage of that. Well, I'm successful now. I'm where I should be. Still as stupid as ever. And then finally, somewhere up there, we get some people who kind of got an inkling, and then way at the top somewhere, we got somebody who says, this is all nuts. This is all nuts. Are you serious? This is all nuts. It is there for us to learn and grow. The point is, we arrive at a conclusion that this is not the end-all, be-all. So why are we behaving as though it is the end-all, be-all? Why are we doing that? Oh, it's set up this way. Well, if you look at the way, what we deal with is the way the society is set up, not the natural laws of being, the natural laws of the universe. The societies are set up on gaining stuff. If it's not physical stuff, it's emotional stuff. That's the way it's set up. And it's counterproductive to what you really are as a being, as the absolute being. The absolute being. Wow. We don't know how to distinguish between what we've learned in a societal group and what we are, what we came here with. Now, we came here as open, honest beings, and we learned to be closed. We learned all these things. You look at the doctors, the physicists, you look at people like this. They've learned certain things that only fit in certain ways. We want to give medication and not pay any attention to how we got where we are, not attack the problem from its base root, from its subatomic root. If we attack the problems and begin looking at that from that perspective, healing will be a lot different. You don't look at TV and see an ad that says, for your moderate acne, take this. Side effects are death, epilepsy, Tourette's, But you won't itch, You won't see those kinds of things because you will be able to deal with the issue at a level that is where change should happen. You look at that cloud. This cloud is no different than this cloud. They all interact. What you call space is a cloud. There's no such thing as space. We look out there and say, what's there? Nothing. No, that's not true. Space itself is something. Space was created at the Big Bang. Space is something. You interact with that. You interact with everything. That's why all things can be known. There comes a time when you start knowing these things and you want to go, okay. You're sitting next to somebody and you're going, I wish I knew where the knob is because this fool is nuts. Click. You come to that point. Everybody wants to be, well, I would like to read minds. How often can you read Dr. Seuss? How often can you do this? And you go, okay, there'll be enough of that. So you have these things happening, but you also have choice. You have choice. You will have all manners of reality streaming into you. To a person who only sees this reality, you can only talk to them about this line of reality. Because they're nuts, and they will think you are the nuts, the one who's nuts. I see many, many lines of reality at the same time. It has kind of been an acceptance that allows them to sort themselves out. You can't sort it out. You have to allow it to sort itself out. So I'm not so sure in the whole scheme of things what happened and what didn't happen. I am sure about this line of reality. I'm also sure about the other line of reality. Now, which is which? You see, the idea, if you get the sight of the scope of the subatomic particles being a cloud, if you get the scope of that, you understand how all the layers work and how you receive them. Okay? You get that scope. But now, don't worry about that until you get to that. And when you get to that, don't start running around saying stupid shit, because they will put you in the nut house. Okay? You see them all the time. Talking, well, that's because they don't understand choice, and they don't understand how to allow. Because once you come to that, there's no problem. I'm reminded of, I forget what the name of the Western is, but it's about Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday and all those guys. And, yeah, Tombstone maybe, where the guy looks at Doc Holliday and says, "You don't want to draw on me. You drunk. You probably seeing two of us." He said, "That's why I got two guns, one for each of you." I don't know which one of you is real, but I'm shooting both of you. See, that's how we deal with things. Well, okay. Deal with that, deal with this. Okay, cool. Years and years ago, Wayne, you may remember this, I don't know, because I did it at, I think I did it at Central White College, where I did a drawing, a circle of a large consciousness, off of that another circle of person in this year, another one of a person in this year. You remember that?
Yeah.
That's where that concept comes from. How everything feeds from here back to here, and how all that information comes together and provides you with a larger scope of life, period. But that's where that came from, where that diagram came from, is allowing the many layers of reality and just accepting. Okay. Again, wait until you get there. Don't try to do this. You have to do the steps that it takes to get there. When you have a greater scope of reality, you appear very intelligent. And maybe even today, as in times past, almost like a god. You find that back then, when some began to understand in greater scope about things, because you had people with lesser scope about things. Everybody doing this. When it was just a guy going through. You know, I often joke about every time an angel appeared to a woman, she got pregnant. You know, that's something, it's like, whoa, wait a minute now. Gabriel came down to Mary. Well, he should have had on a big brim hat with a feather and a red suit. Said, "Now, little girl, I'm the angel Gabriel. This is my horn. Blow on it." No. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
No.
Sorry.
My point is, knowledge puts you in a certain situation. You also have to make choices in that situation. Perhaps, and I say this some of the time, perhaps in the relationships with people I've made a mistake. That is saying, hey, not opening up the full scope of what I know, and choosing not to be as some of the, quote, gurus or special folks claim to be. The point of what I have to say is that I'm a person, which says, if I can do it, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I'm a person. I'm not a guy who stepped from between the pages of time. Ta-da! Here I am, Mary. No. Because the point is, to use this word, the message is, it's all available to all life. That's the point. Not that it's available to me and certain others and not available to you. Not Zeus atop Mount whatever. No. I understand that in a certain way, in a certain time, it was important to do things in a certain way to control and manage humankind. Because we would just be worse than we are now. If somebody didn't say, God's watching you, God's going to get you, okay, I would kill everybody, but God is watching. He going to burn me in hell. See, without that figure, we'd be in big trouble. But that's not my job. My job is to tell you the absolute truth. The absolute truth. That is, ta-da. This is you. This is you if you do certain things. This is not you if you don't do those things. It's simple as that. That's all it is. We want to fight to maintain our ignorance or ignorance or ignorance. Either level you at with that. Either level you're with that. To maintain it or to open up and let growth happen. Let change happen. We think certain things are so far out of our scope that they couldn't be true. I had news for you. In this coming 1,000 years, there's going to be things that happen that's going to blow the mind of everyone on this planet. And I do mean blow the mind. Those of you who have been with me a long time, what you see happening now is something I said would be. I'm not a medium. Matter of fact, I'm a well done, but wasn't that bad. I see the possibilities and probabilities. That's what happens when you allow them in. The direction that we are taking is taking us toward awakening or destruction. What I can say to you is that what each individual does determines the direction of that for humanity. It's like voting. More people vote for this guy, that guy wins. Fewer people vote for the other guy, that guy loses. It is that same balance. It's the same way in which the universe works. We can go toward destruction and start all over again, or we can move forward. That's what it's about. What choices do I make? You see, you have to choose to feel natural. Now, I know some people will come, oh, I feel natural, and they're just as nuts as they can be. You don't come to that until you are free of those other things that naturally happened behind being free of your aggression, being free of your defensiveness, being free of your insecurity, your doubt, your fear, being free of those things. What happens as a result, everything's pretty cool. Everything is cool. Not going through life like a bull in a china shop, breaking things everywhere you go. Not going through life in that way. You're like smoke. You just go through. You're not that important. See, that's one of the problems that we have. We want to be important. Important. And what we end up being is impotent. Unable to get it up to make things happen. You want to be like smoke. You have an effect. Some years back, I was working out. A tall young man came over and said, "I want to thank you. I don't even know who you are." I didn't say that. I thought, "You're welcome." What happened? He said, "I was didn't know which direction I was going to go. I'm now a pilot, and I thank you for that. You changed my life." Well, he was a student at the school where I taught. I have no memory of who he is. Another guy with the same thing, who is a lawyer, did the same thing. Okay? What I'm saying is like smoke. You don't go through life trying to be important. You don't go through life trying to be the leader of the band. You can be the leader of the band without being the leader of the band. But by offering peace, just by your behavior, by demonstration of who you are, just by your behavior. Not wanting everybody, well, I can bring peace. No, you can't. No, you can't. By that statement, you cannot do it because you have already determined through the aggression that you can only bring disorder. You just move through it. Just move through. Sitting in a restaurant one day years ago, man stopped. Said, "Thank you." Okay. You're welcome. He was fighting in a tournament once, and I was the chief referee in that tournament. And a point had been called against him, and he went off. And I said to him, "Just calm down. Everybody's fair here. No point." Had I not said that, he was going to be disqualified. Had he not responded to that, he went on to win a trophy. He remembered that. I had no idea who he was. He was just somebody fighting. You touch people by who you are, not by how you try to impress them with who you are. They don't care. You touch them like smoke, and you go on. You go on. See, you're on a big ego trip when you've got to prove how smart you are. You've got to prove what you can do. You've got to prove this or that or the other. You know how ignorant that is? You can't prove anything to anyone. Don't you know that? They see what they see. It's like trying to prove something to me. You can't prove anything to me except by being what you are. Then I see what you are. I see you as a troublemaker, and I see you as being unwilling to change, or I see you as someone who's willing to do what it takes. And what it takes is just not coming up with something out of the air. Oh, I'm learning this. No. The work. Understanding how it works from the perspective of energy. That's what makes the change. Not from, I'm interacting with this person. So what? So what? You've been interacting with me for years and it didn't help. That's not the issue. The issue is how you do this. That's the issue. How you disentangle it. Keep your eyes on you. That is how it works. On you. I am not trying to, quote, save the world. I am helping the world save itself, if it so wishes. If it wishes to. If it doesn't, I have nothing to say. If something comes to me open, honest, being willing to take responsibility, yes, I will do what I can. But if it's shut down, not willing to take its responsibility, I know nothing. Nothing. I have nothing for you. It's easy. That is respecting people for them to be what it is they want to be. I respect the right of people to be ignorant. I respect the right of people to die ignorant and in pain and in suffering. I respect that right. I also respect the right of those who want to change and want to grow and prosper in life. See, to respect the right of people is not to just respect one side of it, but to respect, period. I respect ignorance. I just don't want any part of it. It's like, ooh, no. That's what it takes sometimes for certain people. It takes just getting beaten down until all the crap, all the resistance is gone. You have to put it in context of the entire universe. We have attitudes like, oh, we should not be competitive. We don't want our children keeping score in sports. Everybody gets a trophy. No, the universe is not like that. Everybody does not get a trophy. You know, when the lion brings down the antelope does not get a trophy. The lion gets the trophy. The antelope was second place. Okay? The lion gets the antelope steak. This is the nature of life. The nature of life is that you get what you put into it. Now, there are instances when the lion goes after the antelope and the antelope goes, oop, no you don't. I'm out. Okay? That case, the antelope gets the trophy. The situation is there. Now, what are you going to do to deal with that situation? The situation is there. What are you going to do? Are you going to do what you've always done and get what you always got? Or do something different? When that thing comes up inside of you, it's time to do that technique. Do something different. Keep doing it until you find a space where you can do the thing in the proper way. I can't tell you how many times I get that call. I said, did you do your technique? Yeah, but it didn't work. Well, you didn't do it enough. Keep doing it. It will work. It just positions you. Now, will you recognize what you see? That's the deal. You recognize it's your brain, it's your intelligence. It's the intelligence of the individual and the willingness to recognize what they see. See, that the technique is not a pill. And even the pills don't work. It's like, take a pill for anxiety. You don't stop being anxious, you just get high. And you nod off. You wake up, well, if it dealt with the anxiety, why is it when you wake up you need another pill? You see, even the pill doesn't deal with it. You must deal with it. You must understand it. You understand it by understanding the energy configuration. Recognizing. Okay? I'm going to get this done if it kills you. Well, no. That says that I have come to a point in here where I've got this knot and I'm going to make you do what you need to do. Well, no, can't do that. What I will do is, if I can, I will walk away. If I can't, I will make you walk away from me. No. Here's what you do. It's been said. Do the technique. Do that technique. Every time you feel that, do the technique until you recognize what's going on. That's our only job. That's our only job. That's our only job. That's your real job. That doesn't mean you don't go to work and make a paycheck. It doesn't mean that. I mean, your only real job is freeing yourself so that you move forward. If you do that, your whole society moves forward. All of humanity moves forward. If we do that. If we do that. If we don't, we are aiding humanity and staying stupid. In staying stupid. Stupefied, as in stupefied by drink. Wow. And we want to know why nobody wants to play with us. Who the hell wants that? If you look at relationships, they fail because of stupidity. We don't want to use what we have. We want to run from what's going on because we're blaming it out here. It's in here. It's in here. That knot is in here. Wow. Whew. Let me deal with that. Okay. I deal with that. Everybody concerned has to do that. I don't just mean relationship, love relationship. I mean any kind of relationship. We deal with what's here. That's the only way you're going to get past it. The only way. The only way. We don't even deal with who we know. We don't even know the people that we're dealing with. We start trying to tell them, you should. Okay. You should do that, but I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not going to keep reminding you that's what you have to do, because I'm taking away from you your responsibility. And you're responsible. That's what growing into an adult becomes. Responsible for me. Growing into an adult. Wow. How about that? Me being responsible. What a novel idea. To be responsible. Because, hear me well, that is the only way out. It's the only way out. If I am alone, it's because I choose to be alone. If I'm with people, it's because I choose to be with people. Being with people is different than being with crap. Crap comes from here. Insanity. Well, you said this, or you did this, or you did. I did no such thing. That is your perception. Now, here's what we're going to do. You go ahead over there, and you deal with that perception that comes from within you. I know who I am. And the answer to that is no. Now, as we move, we have to take responsibility for what happens as we move. As that energy moves up and we begin to feel better, we begin to feel more deeply, what's the next step? What is the next thing we'll do? We'll transfer that from one person to another. Oh, I feel so much more. Doesn't have anything to do with that person or that situation. It has to do with you. So again, it's coming back to you. It's coming back to you. I feel better. The world is better. The world is the same as it's always been. I think I'll move to Switzerland. Oh, I feel so much better in Switzerland. It's not Switzerland, as they say in the open range, Switzerland. It's you. It's you. No place is no better or worse than any place else. It's you. And if you go to that place and you say, I'm feeling better, you haven't dealt with the issue. Like I said, wherever you go, there you are. All your crap, just waiting. Just waiting. Gotcha. Because you weren't paying attention. Oh, here I am in Switzerland. Oh. I thought I was done with that. Did you do what it took to free you from it? The next step in that process, when that energy is bigger and you feel better, you still haven't dealt with projecting it onto something or someone else. Mistake happens all over again. Now, if you love, all that falls before your eyes is loved. All. There are certain things that you're going to deal with and that you're going to have, and that's okay. But you can't project onto that person or that situation or that country or that planet or that universe, whatever. It's about here. Now, when those subatomic particles are vibrating in their natural order, in the way they naturally are, You feel cosmically James Brown. And you're looking at the great Maceo in the sky. Maceo, get it! You feel great because the tension that has constricted the movement of those subatomic particles is gone. They can now vibrate in their natural range. And they sing in harmony with all the others. And you feel, wow, everything is good. But if you don't, you don't. And if you don't, it's because you don't do. Now, if there's anyone here right now, within the sound of my voice, that didn't hear me say, you are responsible, please raise your hand and leave the room. Because I never want to hear again from anyone, they. You. I. We start from that base. I've had people who've been with me 30 years. Pardon my French or not, say the dumbest shit to me. And I look at them like, where have you been? Duh, what you mean? Never mind. It is that point that I start to believe in the devil as an entity. You, not them, not they, not us. You must say I. That's the only way out. Not because anybody's trying to put blame on you or anything. It's not about blame. It's about the truth. That's all. If you shoot yourself in the head, you can't blame anybody else. They made me do it. Click. Well, you need to not reproduce yourself. You did it. I did it. It's an important part of this whole thing. It's self-responsibility. Self-responsibility. You literally create your life. You literally create your life. Look out and see you looking back. When you look out, what do you see? What you see is you. Your opinions about not only people's behavior, but about the world, the construction of the world itself. What do you see? The judgment you make is what you see. That's you. That's you. Wow. Who do you want to be? What do you want to be? Do you want life free of these stresses? Stop stressing. It's as simple as that. This is the way it is, guys. This is the law. This is the law. This is the law. I reflect the law. So when I say to you, You go figure out what your problem is. You go look at the situation and you figure out what happened, because it was right there. You were right there when it happened. You were right there when the universe or whatever it was said to you, I'm not dealing with that anymore. You were right there when the universe said, pow! It was your face that got slapped by the power in this universe. What do? We go back, we find it. We find what this is. We deal with it. And we grow. All the crying and screaming and the hollering and yelling in the whole world is not going to make any difference. I do not have compassion for that. Because that's just a little child trying to get their way. A tantrum. Or feel sorry for me. No. This universe does not do that. It is the law. It is the law. It is the law. It does not care about your screaming and kicking and crying. It will roll right over you, lying there in the floor, kicking and screaming and crying, because it is to grow up to be an adult, not remain a little child. All I'm trying to do is make this clear now about this universe, its law. It does not care. It cares about people becoming the absolute best that they can be. It cares about you being what you are here to be. That is the only care. Not the child that you learn to be and refuse to give up. Not what you have and refuse to grow and move to the next level because the questions aren't asked. It will continue to roll until you ask the question of yourself. And then you can hop on the gravy train and ride. But you can't do it until you ask the right question. If you don't ask the right question, you can't get the right answer. It keeps showing you the right question. You have to receive it. Try to make it as clear as I could. Study this. Don't just hear it, study it. Listen. Listen to this again and again. Listen to this every day for a week, at least 2 weeks, until we can get back. All right. I'd like to thank you for your time. Peace out.